And even just looking at the whole Eastern Conference in general, Lepore, the playoffs are essentially set in the East. The West is a little bit different, specifically the Pacific Division, which is probably going to be the craziest division down the stretch in terms of who's actually going to slot into the top 3 and who's even going to win that division. Although it does look like Vegas at this point is probably going to take the Pacific, but that division seems wide open. Even the Central, when you look at the top 3, that's wide open. But in the Eastern Conference, so in the Metropolitan, Carolina, New York, Washington, and Pittsburgh, those 4 are essentially locks at this point.
Well, isn't Pittsburgh like 19-10-2 or something, and they're sitting in 4th?
Yeah, Pittsburgh 29-5.
There you go.
And they're sitting in 4th place in the Metro. So those teams are all locked into a playoff spot because there's no chance Columbus, Philly, Jersey, and the Islanders are gonna. They're all like Columbus right now, right behind Pittsburgh, 12 points behind. Like, I know there's 50 games left, but I'd be stunned if any of those 4 teams make the playoffs. And then you look at the Atlantic Division, Florida, Tampa, and Toronto are all locked into the playoffs. Like, it would take an absolute catastrophe for one of those teams not to get in. And then you have Boston. So it's basically just like Boston and Detroit fighting for a wild card spot.
But even Boston, how much further ahead is Boston? Aren't they like 18-11 or something?
Yeah. So Boston right now, they're only 2 points ahead of Detroit, but they have 5 games in hand.
There you go. Okay.
So at this point, even as a Wings fan, I'll say this: if you're a Detroit Red Wings fan, I'd actually be happy with what I've seen this season.
For sure.
Everyone thought they were going to be at the bottom of the standings again and kind of dealing with, what, or being in the situation Ottawa's in right now, or even Arizona for that matter. But for that team to be at 16-4, 500 record through 36 games, that's not bad for that team. And I think Senators fans wish that their team was in that position.
I was going to say, I think that's what Sens fans were hoping for this season. So it sucks, man. And it's shit for the good teams too, right? Even for fan bases, because I don't know about you, and again, the delays, the postponements piles on this, but I'm getting kind of bored.
So am I.
You're playing a lot of bad teams. You're playing a lot of teams that have nothing to play for, really. Teams that, and even too, man, the season sucks. Like, we play the Oilers. Here you go. Saturday night, Maple Leafs, Oilers, Connor McDavid in Toronto, full building. Nope. No fans and no Connor McDavid. Shit, man. It sucks from a fan's perspective. And the Leafs win. And yeah, you're happy they won, but there's that thing of, well, the Oilers are in shambles because they are missing a few key pieces, and it's pretty tough for them to be riled up at this point. I mean, the Oilers aren't out of it. They've been terrible lately, but it sucks. It sucks for everyone. It sucks for the players, sucks for the fans. I mean, I guess there's some GMs and coaches at the top that feel kind of comfortable in their job, so happy for them. But as far as I'm concerned, that's about it.
Yeah, it's brutal. I guess the only positive thing you can look at is a lot of these teams who have gone through these COVID outbreaks, even the Leafs, like they had, I believe the count is at 17 players who've been in COVID protocol. You just hope at some point that we get this over with now, where it just sweeps through a bunch of these teams. And then hopefully over the next couple of months and then leading into the playoffs, we stop having postponements and we can actually start playing some hockey again and being consistent with this schedule. Because like you said, Lepore, there's just no other way to slice it here. It's been brutal for everybody, the league, the fans, the players, everyone.
If I had to ask you now, and we don't have the crystal ball, we don't know what's going to happen with the virus, we don't know what's going to happen in terms of positive results, but would you have a problem if it was announced right now that the playoffs is going to be another bubble?
I'd be fine with it, honestly. As long as we get an actual playoffs, I'd be happy at this point. Yeah,
because the trade-off to me is bubble, which sucks and sucks for the players, but not having a bubble and the risk of players being out. Austin Matthews had a positive test last week. I have a positive quick test. He took another test and it came back negative. Imagine the Leafs in the second round of the playoffs and Austin Matthews is gone. What? That's horrible. It's almost like, what's the point?
Yeah, but Lepore, knowing the Leafs, it would be before game 1 of the first round. Austin Matthews test positive. and then
just
misses the
announced
first 3 games.
just announced right before the puck drop.
That would be so on brand for the Leafs. I wouldn't even be surprised. Matthews, well, Marner's
It'd be like
protocol
Matthews,
now.
Campbell, and Riley, like the day, the hours before puck drop.
Oh my God. Like let's not even throw those bad vibes out there.